Americans spend over $65 billion a year on pet food, more than the GDP of some countries. But behind those colorful bags with happy dogs on the front, something disturbing is hiding. Recalls for contamination, ingredients your dog was never meant to eat, fillers designed to cut costs, not nourish your pet. Some of the most popular dog food brands on store shelves right now could be slowly harming your best friend. If you buy dog food at a major store, there's a real chance you are feeding them one of these. Today, we expose 8 dog food brands you should avoid. And the final one is trusted by millions. 8. Pedigree dry dog food. Walk into any grocery store or big box retailer, and you will find Pedigree front and center. It is the #1 selling dog food brand in the world, trusted by millions of pet owners who believe they are giving their dogs a quality meal. The packaging shows happy dogs, promises complete nutrition, and even mentions support for shelter animals. Sounds wonderful, right? But flip that bag over and look at what is actually inside. The truth is far less heartwarming than the marketing would have you believe. The very first ingredient in most Pedigree dry formulas is ground whole grain corn. Not chicken, not beef. Corn, a cheap filler that dogs struggle to digest properly and that provides minimal nutritional value compared to real animal protein. Following the corn, you will find chicken, byproduct meal, corn gluten meal, and meat and bone meal. These are the leftovers of the meat industry. We are talking about beaks, feet, bones, and intestines, all rendered down into a dry powder. This is what passes for protein in one of America's best-selling dog foods, but it gets worse. Pedigree uses artificial colors like yellow 5, red 40, and blue 2. Your dog is colorblind. These dyes exist purely to make the food look appealing to you, the human buyer. Studies have linked some of these dyes to hyperactivity and potential long-term health concerns. The preservative BHA, which Pedigree uses to preserve animal fat, has been flagged by the World Health Organization as a possible carcinogen. These are not ingredients that belong in your dog's bowl. And in May of 2024, Mars Pet Care issued a recall of Pedigree products due to potential metal contamination. Bags sold at Walmart across 4 states were pulled from shelves because loose metal pieces were found inside the food. When you cook Pedigree, you will notice dramatic shrinkage and excessive grease. That is because much of what you are paying for is water and brine injected to make the food appear more substantial. You are literally paying for added liquid that evaporates during cooking. If you are looking for affordable alternatives that actually deliver nutrition, consider brands like Wholehearted or Simply Nourish. They cost only slightly more, but use real meat as the first ingredient without the artificial junk. Pedigree is everywhere, but the next brand is even more concerning, because it is marketed as fun, colorful, and harmless. 7. Kibbles and Bits. There is something almost nostalgic about Kibbles and Bits, that bright, colorful bag with chunks of crunchy kibble mixed with soft, chewy bits. It was one of the first dual-textured dog foods ever created, and it has been a household name since 1981. But nostalgia does not equal nutrition. And once you understand what is really inside this food, the charm disappears fast. This is a case where clever marketing has fooled generations of pet owners into thinking they are buying something special. Let us start with the ingredients. The first thing listed is corn. Not meat, not poultry, corn. Right behind it is soybean meal, another cheap plant-based filler used to artificially inflate the protein percentage on the label. Plant proteins are far less bioavailable to dogs than animal proteins. Your dog cannot absorb them as efficiently, which means they are getting less actual nutrition than the guaranteed analysis suggests. The protein numbers on the bag are essentially meaningless when the sources are this poor. But here is where Kibbles and Bits really crosses a line. This food contains propylene glycol, a moisture-retaining chemical that has been banned by the FDA for use in cat food because of health concerns. Yet somehow it is still allowed in dog food. The brand also uses a synthetic preservative the World Health Organization has linked to cancer. And those vibrant colors in the kibble come from artificial dyes like red 40, yellow 5, and blue 2. None of these provide any benefit to your dog whatsoever. In 2018, Kibbles and Bits was part of a massive recall after testing revealed the presence of pentobarbital, the drug used to euthanize animals. A euthanasia drug was found in dog food being sold on store shelves. While the levels were deemed too low to cause immediate harm, the fact that it was there at all raises serious questions about sourcing and quality control. How does something like that end up in pet food unless the sourcing standards are dangerously lax? Nutritionally, Kibbles and Bits delivers below-average protein, below-average fat, and sky-high carbohydrates approaching 60%. A far better choice at a similar price point is Blue Buffalo Life Protection. It uses real deboned chicken as its first ingredient and skips the artificial colors entirely. Kibbles and Bits belongs on your avoid list. And if you think this is as bad as it gets, wait until you see what hides behind one of the most trusted names in pet food. 6. Purina Dog Chow. If there is one brand that has become synonymous with American pet ownership, it is Purina. Their Dog Chow line has been a staple in households for decades, marketed as affordable, complete nutrition for dogs of all sizes. You see it stacked high in every grocery store, every big box retailer, every dollar store in the country. But popularity does not equal quality. And when you dig into what Purina Dog Chow actually contains, you start to understand why so many dogs struggle with allergies, digestive issues, and lackluster health. The first ingredient in most Purina Dog Chow formulas is whole grain corn. Just like the other brands we have discussed, corn takes center stage instead of meat. Following the corn, you will find meat and bone meal, an anonymous rendered ingredient that could come from cattle, pigs, sheep, or goats. Because the source is not specified, it is nearly impossible to know exactly what your dog is eating. This lack of transparency should concern any pet owner who cares about what goes into their dog's bowl. Third on the list is corn gluten meal, a byproduct of corn processing that is extremely high in plant protein. While that might sound beneficial, corn gluten protein is far less digestible and nutritionally complete than animal-based protein. It is essentially used to inflate the protein percentage on the label without providing the amino acids dogs actually need. Your dog requires specific amino acids that only come from quality animal sources, and corn gluten meal simply cannot deliver them. Purina Dog Chow also contains artificial colors like yellow 6, yellow 5, red 40, and blue 2. Dogs cannot see these colors the way we do. These dyes serve no nutritional purpose and exist purely to appeal to human shoppers. Looking at the nutritional breakdown, Purina Dog Chow delivers below-average protein and carbohydrates hovering around 50%. That is a recipe for weight gain and metabolic stress over time. Here is the irony: Purina actually makes better food. Their Pro Plan, sensitive skin and stomach formula, uses salmon as the first ingredient and avoids corn, wheat, and soy entirely. Purina Dog Chow proves that brand recognition does not equal quality. But the next food cuts even more corners, all in the name of being cheap. That is number 5. 5. Ol Roy. When it comes to budget dog food, Ol Roy reigns supreme. Sold exclusively at Walmart, it is the store's private label brand and one of the cheapest dog foods you can buy anywhere in America. Named after Walmart founder Sam Walton's own dog, Ol Roy has become the go-to choice for cost-conscious pet owners. But here is the hard truth. When you buy the cheapest option available, you are almost always paying for it in other ways. And with Ol Roy, the hidden costs show up in veterinary bills and your dog's declining health. The first ingredient in Ol Roy Complete Nutrition is ground yellow corn. This is followed by meat and bone meal, soybean meal, poultry byproduct meal, and animal fat preserved with BA. Notice there is no real named meat anywhere in sight. Every protein source is either a rendered byproduct or a plant-based filler designed to keep manufacturing costs as low as possible. The entire formula is engineered around one goal: making the cheapest possible product that still technically qualifies as dog food. BHA, the preservative used in the animal fat, has been classified as a possible carcinogen by health authorities, and the anonymous nature of both the meat and bone meal and the animal fat means you have no idea what animals these ingredients came from. Industry insiders have raised concerns that such vague sourcing can include diseased livestock and other questionable sources. When a company refuses to specify their protein sources, there is usually a reason they want to keep that information hidden from consumers. Ol Roy has tested positive for pentobarbital, the euthanasia drug, in the past. Countless pet owners have reported digestive issues, vomiting, diarrhea, skin problems, and coat deterioration after feeding their dogs this food. Veterinarians frequently cite Ol Roy as one of the brands they recommend avoiding due to its low-quality ingredients and poor digestibility. The reviews online paint a disturbing picture of dogs getting sick shortly after switching to this brand. If budget is your primary concern, Diamond Naturals uses real meat as the first ingredient, avoids artificial preservatives and colors, and costs only marginally more than Ol Roy. The difference in ingredient quality is night and day. Old Roy shows what happens when price matters more than nutrition. But number 4 is more dangerous because many owners believe it is a premium upgrade. If you're learning something new here, hit subscribe and keep these eye-opening breakdowns coming. 4. Iams Mini Chunks. For decades, Iams has positioned itself as a step above the grocery store basics. The brand was founded in 1946 by Paul Iams, a self-taught nutritionist who pioneered the concept of premium dog food before it was even a category. Iams was one of the first companies to create life-stage-specific formulas, but that was before the company was sold to Procter & Gamble, and later to Mars. Since then, the quality has steadily declined. What was once a genuinely premium option has become just another mid-tier food riding on the reputation of its past. Take Iams Proactive Health Mini Chunks as an example. The packaging proudly states it is made with farm-raised chicken as the first ingredient. And technically, that is true. But immediately after comes ground whole grain corn, ground whole grain sorghum, and chicken byproduct meal. That means the total grain and byproduct content likely outweighs the fresh chicken once you account for moisture loss during processing. Fresh chicken is about 70% water, so after cooking, there is far less actual chicken than the ingredient order suggests. Chicken byproduct meal is made from the parts of the chicken not used for human consumption. We are talking about feet, beaks, intestines, and undeveloped eggs. While byproduct meal does provide protein, it is considered a lower quality source compared to whole meat. And the heavy reliance on corn and sorghum means a significant portion of the protein comes from plant sources rather than animal sources. This is a common cost-cutting tactic that allows companies to advertise high protein while delivering inferior nutrition. Another concern is the inclusion of caramel color. This is a controversial additive that has been linked to potential health issues in laboratory studies. Why would a dog food need artificial coloring anyway? Dogs do not care what color their food is. Iams has also faced recalls in the past, including incidents related to salmonella contamination. The brand's track record is far from spotless, despite its premium positioning in the marketplace. If you are paying for the Iams name because you remember when it meant something, it might be time to reconsider. Wellness Complete Health offers similar price points but delivers superior ingredient quality, including named meat proteins and no artificial colors. Iams trades on its past reputation. The next brand trades on bright colors, friendly marketing, and a long history of controversy. 3. Beneful Original. Few dog food brands have generated as much controversy as Beneful. Manufactured by Nestlé Purina, will burst onto the scene with bright, eye-catching packaging that promised wholesome ingredients like real beef, healthy grains, and accents of vegetables. The colorful kibble pieces looked almost good enough for humans to eat, but looks can be deceiving. And behind Beneful's cheerful exterior lies a history of lawsuits, FDA investigations, and thousands of consumer complaints that paint a very different picture. Original recipes have historically included ground yellow corn as the first ingredient, followed by chicken byproduct meal, corn gluten meal, whole wheat flour, and beef tallow. That is a whole lot of corn and wheat before you get to any substantial meat content. The beef prominently featured on the packaging appears much further down the list, meaning there is far less of it than the marketing implies. This is classic bait-and-switch tactics used by pet food companies to make their products appear more premium than they actually are. Beneful previously contained propylene glycol and added sugar, ingredients that serve no nutritional purpose for dogs. While Purina has reformulated some recipes to remove these ingredients in response to backlash, the damage to the brand's reputation was already done. In 2015, a class action lawsuit was filed against Nestlé Purina, alleging that Beneful had caused illness and death in thousands of dogs. Pet owners reported symptoms ranging from mild digestive upset to complete organ failure and death. The FDA investigated and tested samples of Beneful, finding traces of cyanuric acid and amylide, substances related to melamine that have been linked to pet deaths. The FDA also found issues with salmonella and other violations during their inspection of Purina's manufacturing plants. Over 1,700 reviews on consumer affairs detail complaints ranging from vomiting to seizures to kidney failure. Despite these findings, no major regulatory action was ever taken against the company. If the Beneful packaging has been catching your eye, redirect that attention to Taste of the Wild instead. It offers grain-free recipes with real roasted meat as the primary ingredient and no artificial colors or flavors. Beneful proves how dangerous marketing can be. But number 2, takes manipulation even further by targeting small dogs specifically. 2. Cesar dry dog food. Cesar has built its entire brand identity around the image of a pampered, sophisticated small dog. The packaging features an adorable West Highland Terrier, and the marketing positions Cesar as gourmet dining for your beloved companion. Terms like filet mignon, flavor, and spring vegetables garnish create the impression of a premium product. But peel back the marketing and examine what is actually inside, and you will find a product that falls far short of its upscale image. The gourmet positioning is nothing more than clever branding designed to justify higher prices for mediocre ingredients. The dry Cesar formulas typically list a named meat or meat meal as the first ingredient, which sounds promising. However, immediately following are corn gluten meal, soybean meal, and dried peas, all of which are plant-based protein boosters used to inflate the protein percentage on the label without providing the complete amino acid profile dogs need from animal sources. When you see multiple plant proteins stacked together like this, it is a clear sign that the company is cutting corners on the actual meat content. But here is where it gets concerning. Cesar dry food contains added sugar. There is absolutely no nutritional reason for sugar to be in dog food. It is included purely to make the food more palatable and potentially addictive. The food also contains artificial colors, including red 40, yellow 5, and blue 2. These dyes serve no purpose for your colorblind dog. They exist solely to make the product look more appealing to human buyers who associate bright colors with freshness and quality. Veterinarians have reported seeing dogs with gastrointestinal issues after consuming Cesar products. In 2016, Cesar issued a voluntary recall of their filet mignon flavor loaf due to plastic contamination. The nutritional analysis reveals above-average protein on paper, but much of this comes from plant sources with lower bioavailability. Many online reviews describe dogs experiencing vomiting, diarrhea, and lethargy after eating Cesar, suggesting that the quality issues extend beyond just the ingredient list. If you have a small dog and want to feed them something genuinely premium, look to Merrick grain-free or healthy grains. Both options use deboned meat as the first ingredient and avoid artificial colors. Cesar might dress itself up as fancy dining for your pampered pup, but the ingredient list tells the truth. Cesar dresses cheap ingredients up as gourmet dining, but the final brand does not even bother pretending. 1. Alpo dry dog food. We have saved the worst for last. Alpo, manufactured by Nestlé Purina, is widely considered by pet nutrition experts to be one of the lowest quality dog foods on the American market. You will find it in dollar stores, discount retailers, and the bargain sections of grocery chains. But what you save at the register, your dog pays for with their health. Alpo is a cautionary tale about how low the pet food industry can go. When profit becomes the only priority, this is what ends up on store shelves. The first ingredient in Alpo formulas is ground yellow corn. This is followed by meat and bone meal, soybean meal, corn, germ meal, and animal fat. Nowhere in the top 5 ingredients do you find any actual named meat. The protein sources are anonymous, rendered by products and plant-based fillers that provide minimal bioavailable nutrition for your dog. Independent analysis shows that Alpo delivers only about 18% protein, barely scraping the minimum required by AAFCO standards. The meat and bone meal is particularly troubling. Because no specific animal is named, this ingredient can legally come from virtually any mammal source. Industry critics have raised concerns about what ends up in anonymous meat meals. Alpo also includes artificial colors and animal digest, a chemically hydrolyzed flavor enhancer sprayed onto the kibble. The carbohydrate content soars above 50%, sometimes approaching 60%, which is far too high for a species that thrives on protein and fat. The nutritional profile is abysmal. Alpo dry food delivers below-average protein, below-average fat, and above-average carbohydrates. Pet nutritionists and veterinarians consistently rank Alpo at the bottom of quality assessments. Dog Food Advisor gives it 1 star out of 5. Dogs Naturally magazine classifies it as very high risk. Multiple review sites describe the ingredient list as one of the worst they have ever analyzed in commercial dog food. If you need an affordable option that actually nourishes your dog, consider Diamond Naturals or subscription services like The Farmer's Dog. For those willing to invest in the best, Origin and Akana represent the gold standard with real meat as the primary ingredient. Alpo sits at the absolute bottom of the quality spectrum, and it is the final entry on our list of dog food brands you should avoid at all costs. Your dog deserves so much better than this.